Welcome to Catholic Alpha Unleashed, where Christian soldiers congregate, where we rock the authentic manliness of our Lord Jesus Christ, filtered through His truth, which is the only truth of real men of courage, while condemning the cowardly actions of the effeminate, the emasculated, the just plain wusses of our society. Forever presenting the question: be you wuss or be you warrior? Hello and welcome to Catholic Alpha Unleashed. I'm Jerry Jacobs Jr. and I save marriages. So let's do this. Today's quote is from St. Augustine, and it states, "This is the very perfection of a man, to find out his own imperfections." St. Augustine. So basically that means we have to continue to grow. We can't stay stagnant. We have to find out, look in the mirror every day at ourselves and see where we can go from there. So today's post is called, "Are you a holy lover? Your manhood on trial." What do I mean by this? Are you a holy lover? Well, today as men, we've just become too comfortable. We weren't taught or don't know how to be a man in service of the Father. And there's nothing concrete for us to even measure how we're doing as men. And the progress of our manhood. I mean, is it money? Is it our relationship with God, our children? How many cars we got? What our careers, our relationship with Christ, our wives? I mean, what is that? What is the best is it being the best moral example of ourselves? Is it being, having high and extremely high moral character? I mean, what are these things? And that is the problem we have. We've come to the point in the society where we just have no way of telling who we are, what we should be doing, how we should be doing it. And that's really, honestly, it's because the church, the Catholic Church, when it started going away and talking real soft about the high points of hell and the high points of purgatory and heaven and Satan, and stop telling us the truth about, sinning is bad, is wrong. Things we do, we can't do whatever we want to do. I mean, once we start pulling back, society just went past us. This is why there will always be, this is a good lesson though, there will always be Judases in the church. There's going to always be people that are going to be doing wrong and doing crazy stuff. But our job, as men especially, is to don't worry about that, but is to remember who's in charge. God is the Father, the Holy Spirit, and Christ is in charge. And our job is to make sure that we look at the teachings of the church and what God is asking us to do. That's the bottom line on that. So, also, we're lost. I mean, with all these things going on today, we're lost. I was looking at someone else, like the other day. This lady, she murdered her children. And then I think she murdered his father too, her husband too. And we look and we go, well, wow, she was crazy. She wasn't crazy. She probably, she was probably possessed, had a demon in her. She was probably depressed. She was probably doing so much sad and sinful things and bad and crazy stuff that her soul just couldn't take it anymore. So she lost it. But that's the thing. Our job as men is to spread the high morality and high virtue in the society, but we don't anymore. We let people we don't want to, because we're cowards and we don't want to we don't hurt anybody's feelings. What we do is we don't tell anybody anything. So everybody thinks everything's okay. And then stuff builds up. It builds up. And then you have a mother who loves her children shooting them. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'll develop a test for us to measure ourselves. Good news. To give us an idea of how we're doing in our journey towards holiness, perfection, and sainthood. We need to always be heading for holiness, perfection, and sainthood. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're just trying to be perfect. Well, yeah, you are trying to be perfect because that's how you get to heaven. I mean, that's just what it's about. We should forever be trying to grow holy. And anybody that's against that, you need to get them away from you or set them straight. So, the Holy Lover test was developed by using Christ as our ultimate example of a man, the teachings of the church, and my many years of experience in marriage and relationships. So basically, this just goes down to, I put these 33 gifts together to show us, to get us on the start of a journey to get towards closer to God. And I think a lot of us are away from that. Well, I know for a fact a lot of us are away from that. So, the true man, the 33 gifts of a holy lover. In your pursuit of greatness, holiness, sainthood, and perfection, you need practical help. To keep you on track, enter the Holy Lover Checklist. The Holy Lover Checklist is a list of 33 gifts that you must use to fine tune and help you be the man, the husband, the father that God is calling you to be. So in essence, I want you to reach Holy Lover status. And with the test, there is like 33 points you go through and you take the test, and then at the end there's a level. There's levels for each one you got correct. So you must understand that your masculinity is a gift given to you by God in service of Him and your beloved wife. Your mission must be to unleash as many of these 33 gifts upon your beloved as she can stand. That's a great thing right there. Once you understand your mission as a man and your purpose and what God is asking you to do, man, you get all these gifts that you can bestow upon your wife and society. Because believe it or not, your masculinity is a gift. And today, what do? We just squander it. So, what is the criteria for becoming a holy lover? Well, there are 3 categories and 33 gifts, as I said, to help you reach holy lover status. Category 1 is prayer warfare. Category 2 is the art of masculinity. The art of masculinity using Christ as our ultimate example. Category 3 is love-making mastery. Each category has a certain number of gifts for you to master. So like I said, category 1 is prayer warfare. Category number 2 is the art of masculinity. And 3 is love-making mastery. You need all these 3 things to be complete. And you won't be perfect, but man, these will get you on the way. And that's the problem with us. We think we know everything. Like I always say, men think we know, like me watching this thing right now, it's like, what can he tell me about anything? Well, the thing about it is you don't know what you don't know. And look outside your door at the society right now. All those dudes that are out there screwing around and you think you perfect. They think they perfect. Everything's good. Everybody's happy. A little like 2 peas in the pod, and you're not. And the problem of it is we don't know what we don't know. So what we have to do is continually search for tools to help us to get our wife and our children closer to the Father. So my question to you is, are you a holy lover? Is your mission to become the man God created you to be? Do you understand your role, your duty as a husband in marriage? Is your marriage thriving, prosperous, peaceful, full of the Father? Or is it lackluster, passionless, void of intimacy? Are you and your beloved one flesh? Do you avoid each other like the plague? Do you go along to get along? Do you want more, crave more, hunger for more, but you just don't know how to make it better? Does your marriage lack greatness? So, if you want to take the Holy Lover Challenge, it's what I call it, the Holy Lover Challenge, click on the link below and get started. So now let's get to answering these questions I just asked. Category 1, prayer warfare. It has 8 gifts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to, this is a big long, this is a long post. It's like 6,000 words. So what I had to do was I'm going to divide the videos into 3 with each category as a video. So it'll be a series. So it'll be part 1, part 2, and part 3. So part 1, which is this series, will be prayer warfare. We'll focus on prayer warfare. The second video will be part 2, and it will focus on the art of masculinity, of the art of manliness. And then the third will be love making mastery. So it'll be those 3 videos. So now let's get going. Category 1, prayer warfare. It has 8 gifts. Remember now, man, these are gifts. Your masculinity is a gift. And every time you use that masculinity and perfect your manhood and understand your purpose and mission, you are bestowing those gifts upon your beloved wife. And she will, in return, give your love that you've given her to your family, to your friends, to everyone around you. It's just beautiful. Anyway, so I don't want to get all mushy about it, but anyway, a holy lover, gift number 1. A holy lover enforces God first, marriage second, family third, and self last. That's the proper order of things. That's the natural law right there. You have to understand that you have to put God the Father first in your life, in your bedroom, in your home, at your work, within your family, your extended family, because that right there is the base for everything. Okay? Your mission as the man, sure, God has placed you as the man, the head of the household, the spiritual head. But look, man, you know what that really means? Being a leader really means to serve. So basically, your job is to make sure everybody else got their stuff is together, that you've helped them reach their potential. And then at the very last, you consider your wants and your desires. So that's number 1. That's gift number 1. Gift number 2, a holy lover engages in the spiritual battle daily. You engage in the spiritual battle daily. And what is the spiritual battle? First of all, the spiritual battle is within yourself. You need to conquer yourself and your urges, and so that you can fight the spiritual battle with the rest of it. So first of all, you got to protect your wife and your kids from you, and that's a big deal. So what I mean by that is you gotta get to mass. You got to pray. You got to get on your knees. You got to ask God for help. You got to fast. Oh, that's just the most important thing. You have to fast for your wife. Fast for your children. Fasting is the most powerful thing that you can do to help your family and help your wife especially. Also, praying the rosary. Meditative prayer, which is what the rosary is. Basically, man, you have to fight the battle. It's a spiritual battle. Right now, eventually, we may have to come to a physical battle where we have to don our shields and our swords, man, and get busy out here. But right now, to stop all that, we need to fight get that prayer battle going every day. It's called spiritual warfare. I mean, that's the problem. What's the main reason why we have the problems we have today in society, in this country especially? Because nobody's praying. There's not enough prayer going on. Prayer is how you defeat evil, man. Prayer is how you defeat this woman shooting her kids. See, people think, oh, well, she was crazy and all this. No, here's what it was. She had nobody praying for her. Because God gives us a jolt of energy it's called grace when prayer. When we pray, what that's doing is showing God that he's the one. So we have to, we're showing our loyalty and our love and our faith to him. And so he uses our suffering and our prayers to help the world, to give the world grace. And when there's nobody praying, man, none of that happens. That's why you have evil. That's why you have the Muslims coming over trying to take over and doing terrorist attacks. That's why you have homosexuality reigning, or people trying to, same-sex dudes and women trying to be married to each other. Everybody's lost. You have people murdering each other. You have all kind of things going on. Abortion. Millions of babies dead every month, every year. And we just think this is just, well, all we can do is stop it by just willing to. No, you need help. You need prayer. That's how you stop evil. That's how you stop Satan, really. The next one is gift number 3. A holy lover rejects contraception, birth control in any form. Look, don't shoot the messenger. This is not me talking. This is Christ's teachings. Contraception, birth control is like killing souls before they get here. Okay? Taking birth control is the ultimate, besides masturbation, is the ultimate act of selfishness. Okay? You are basically using your wife as a punching bag, as a fork and a spoon and a knife, a utensil. You're just using her for her vagina, basically, and how it makes you feel. You have nothing on the line, no consequences on the line. And that's what contraception is about. God is trying to give you the gift of children, and what do? You kill all the souls before they even have a chance to even get going. I mean, you really think about that. Contraception is basically, it's a selfish act on the women's part too. And for you to allow your wife to take conception so that she can allow herself to be used, something's wrong. Something's wrong. But we don't think about stuff like that. We're too busy on the phone trying to watch TV and all this kind of stuff that will get us distracted. But man, just think about it. The next one. A holy lover understands marriage and its meaning. You got to understand what marriage is. First, you got to put Christ first. Then you got to understand what marriage is, so you understand your mission and your purpose. Your marriage and the relationship with your wife is your second most important thing on this earth, even above your children. Because without Christ and without your wife, do you have a family? No, you don't. I'll answer that for you. No, you don't. So you got to understand, marriage is for what marriage means. Marriage is for procreation. Marriage is for the two people to get each other to God, to heaven. What you do is you sacrifice and you suffer for each other, especially the man, so that you can be, and unite that suffering with Christ to help purify your wife. Now, a lot of people don't agree with what I'm saying. That's because they don't understand the faith. People, you cannot get to heaven by yourself. That's the problem. People try to say that being single is a vocation. How could being single a vocation? Being single cannot be a vocation because it's the ultimate act of selfishness. Basically, a person wants to be by themselves. If you by yourself, who are you using to purify you, to get the rough edges off of you, to help you grow? That's what marriage is for. Okay? You have to understand that. So, and that's what priests are married to the church. The church sanctifies and purifies priests. If they do their job, nuns are married to Christ. They serve Christ to let him help sanctify and purify them. You cannot get to the heaven without a partner. That's just the bottom line on that. Okay. Gift number 5. A holy lover understands the value of children, at least 4, to the success of his marriage. Okay. You got to have kids. If you don't have kids, that's the ultimate act. That's selfishness. It's selfishness. You just want to spend time with you and your wife, and your wife just wants to spend time with you. Well, man, I'm going to tell you, after 50 years, that gets old. You have to understand love is meant to be shared. Love is meant to be given. Listen, God and the Son, their love was so strong that it created the Holy Spirit. That's what love does. So in the same manner, when a husband and wife love each other so much that 9 months later, they create a human life. That is love. You understand? Love has to be shared. It has to create. And when you use contraception, or when you don't have any children, when you think it's just between you and your wife, you have it totally twisted. Your marriage cannot grow. It cannot foster and fester. It cannot grow, and you cannot become one flesh without children. And you need at least 4. You know why? Because Dr. Kaiser, in his book, The 7 Myths of Marriage, talks about how 4 children lowers, when you have at least 4 children, that lowers the chances of divorce drastically. So God knows what he's talking about. They have the plan, man. The plan. Use it. Use it. You know, people think they're not free because they think the church and God has all these rules. But guess what? When you create a car, when the manufacturer creates a car, it comes with a manual, right? And if you go outside that manual, start putting sugar in the gas tank or flour in the engine, is it going to work right? Is the car going to be running at prime condition and prime perfection? That's why you have God, dude. God created you. He understands what will make you ultimately happy. He understands that. He has the manual. The manual is the Bible, the Catechism, and the Catholic Church, and the church. Those 3 things, man, that's what you need to help you get your life going and be happy. All right? So, you need children. Without children, your marriage will eventually fade. It will. It will. Number 6. A holy lover never ceases in pursuit of holiness, sainthood, and perfection. Talked about that earlier. Man, our mission is to grow in holiness. We are supposed to be holy, man. We have to grow, but you have to work at it. Perfection, sainthood. Our job there, listen, I've heard, the first time I ever heard this statement, it just blew my mind. And it was made by Deacon Harold Burke Sivers. He said, I had never even thought about this before. He said that there are no good people in heaven. Now think about that. There are no good people in heaven. You know why? Because everybody in heaven's a saint. They are perfect. They are a saint. And if we as men are not trying to get there and take that road, our families and our wives ain't coming nowhere with us. People out here always try to perpetrate how their life is so perfect. No, it ain't. All these people in their homes, they have problems. In their marriages, they have problems. But the problem is they don't lean on God to help them get through these things. Bam. Okay. Next, gift 7. A holy lover reads, understands, and applies Ephesians 5:21-33 in service of his beloved and the Father. That's your roadmap. You want to know your roadmap? Roadmap to get your marriage to where it needs to be to get it started is Ephesians 5:21-33. Why? Because those verses is where God gives up the, in the Word, He gives up what we're supposed to be doing as husband and wife. Be submissive to each other. We're to be the wife and the husband be submissive to each other because we're both submissive to Christ. The man is the head. The natural order is Christ, the husband, the wife, and the children. And you just can't be, smacking your wife around and ordering her around and stuff. For one thing, I don't care if you beat your wife up or not. You still can't make her do what she don't want to do. She'll just wait till you leave, or she'll leave and do it. And so that don't make no difference anyway. The thing about it is, man, you have to understand that when you put your life and order it towards the proper order of things, toward Christ, everything else just falls in line. Your woman wants to be with you. Your woman wants to submit to you, and you two work together to get things accomplished. Your kids do. The kids are better. You're better. Everything just flows. That's where it happens. It's smooth, and that's what we want. We want smooth is what we want. Next. I think that, number 8, gift number 8. A holy lover understands sexual purity and chastity. A holy lover understands sexual purity and chastity. Masturbation, sex outside of marriage, homosexuality, infidelity, pornography. Each of these acts of pure selfishness is what they are. Pure selfishness emasculates you, fosters effeminacy, and steals your masculinity away. When you are sexually impure, man, your masculinity just seeps away. You become weak, you become soft, and the sin just destroys you. And we don't even realize it. I know I didn't realize it. The problem with people is they don't really understand. They don't understand their misery of where they at. Like me, I don't understand my misery. But then when I started, my eyes got open and the veil got removed. I started realizing how miserable my family was and how miserable I was. But see, the thing about people that understand the faith, they only know what they know. They have no idea of what things could really be like, how peaceful their life could be. But you only, you can't, what's the saying? You can't make a horse drink. You can only lead him there. And even slice folks, you can't even lead them. They don't even let you lead them. So now, like I said before, if you have any disagreement with any of these things that I've said, don't be, getting mad at me or getting, attitude with me, because Christ is the one. These things are off Christ. So, don't be shooting me. Go take it up with them. God and the Father. The God, the Father, take it up with him. So, well, let me see. Let me ask you, are you ready to take your marriage to the next level and beyond? So what we just covered, we covered the first category of the Holy Lover. So a Holy Lover challenge. So the first eight gifts. So remember, that was called prayer warfare. The next video is going to deal with the art of manliness, about masculinity and your manhood. So like I said, so save your marriage. Be nice, but it's good. So if your marriage might be nice right now, but is it good marriage or a great marriage? Better yet, is it legendary? I mean, are you on the road to where you and your wife, are you on the road to greatness and creating a great family and on the way towards God? Because man, that is the only way you can truly be happy. My thing is, all this stuff out here that's going on, are them people happy? No, they ain't. They're really not. We have to stop doing the same old stuff so that we can understand what the great things are. And that starts with our marriage. So then let's rock this and get to work. Next, start the day turning a bad marriage into a good marriage again and a good marriage into a great marriage by taking the Holy Lover Challenge. Click the link below. It'll take you to the landing page. Put in your email and put your name in, and you get the Holy Lover checklist and the Holy Lover test. Take it, and man, follow the directions, and I promise you, it'll help you get going. If right now things aren't going where you want to, or you want things to be much better than they are, my thing is don't settle. Don't settle for what you have. Man, we should always be striving to be great and making things better, be magnificent, fantastic. That's what we should be doing. The worst thing you could do is become lukewarm and just sit there and don't do anything. Don't try to grow. This course is a blueprint, a step-by-step to get you started on building a great marriage. Can you afford to not to look at it? Can you afford not to understand what you don't know? So let's go. Is your ego, is your pride too huge? That's what's wrong with men. A lot of us, I was the same way. It takes work not to be prideful. But man, listen, our ego is always what gets us in trouble. I met a dude the other day. You can't tell him nothing. Couldn't tell him nothing. Boy, know everything. What do you do after a while? You just let them do whatever they want to do. Because most dudes, especially men, women are getting that way too now, but especially men, they have to be at a certain level. They have to be so low before they listen to you. And so what you have to do, your friends, your fathers, your mother, your workmates, your children, what you have to do is, if you didn't try to talk to them and they don't want to listen, you just have to be there when they are ready to listen. Now you might have to kick their butt and get them away from you for a while, but they'll be back. They always come back because they realize what you were saying is the real deal. So that's why me and you have to do this. We got to get ourselves together so that when the Father and God and Christ needs our help, and when your children and your friends need your help, you can help them. You ain't just talking the same old stuff all these other crazy dudes out here talking. What you're talking about has substance. Stop taking your marriage and your wife for granted. Take action and learn something. Subscribe today. Click on the link. Go in there, put in your email and all that, man, and let's do this. So that way that you can we can start doing this together. Also, for more in-depth coverage of today's information, you can read the blog post below. The blog post is really good. It'll really help you. You can watch the videos too, and you can read the blog post. My thing is, man, I like doing it all, because a lot of times you can read things and get something out of it, and you can watch a video and get something out of it. So I like both. Next, like I said before, be sure to watch part 2 in the series coming up. Hopefully to come up like tomorrow, the next day. And it will focus on the second category of becoming a holy lover, the art of manliness. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah. So, lastly, as we end, let's remember the words of Pope Benedict XVI. Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. So, go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual battle is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare